right.
The Cavs last night beat the Toronto Raptors despite a scheduled rest night from Donovan Mitchell, and it was Darius Garland who led the way with a 40-point performance. Jason, Bull, Jay, it's a hell of a display from DG, carrying the offense late without Donovan Mitchell on his side.
And you knew, and even before the game, Kenny Atkinson said, and I love his honesty, he's like, yeah, this is a game that could be a trap game. You know, you just played this biggest game. I mean, Brian Windhorst called it the best regular season NBA game he's seen, I think he said in 20 years. I don't remember exactly how many years he said. But, and obviously everybody was super pumped. The crowd was super pumped. And then the next day you're playing one of the worst teams in the NBA. So even though the Cavs were a 15-point favorite, I thought it would be close. I think a lot of good teams would have lost that game to Toronto last night because Toronto came to play. They played a good game. They scored a lot of points. But it doesn't matter. Even without Donovan Mitchell, and even with certainly expecting somewhat of a letdown the next day, the Cavs in the end always find a way to pull it out. They've done it time and time again. And Darius Garland was sensational. He backed up his good performance against Oklahoma City by carrying the team without Donovan yesterday.
I wonder, I'll ask Jason and Mike, you can chime in on this because this is just a question that came to my mind when I heard that Mitchell was not going to play. Does it seem to you guys that Kenny is making a concerted effort to prioritize and maybe even empower and help build the confidence of Darius Garland, as if he's to say, hey, I'm going to give the team to you tonight, and I want you to save us from what could be, what Bull said, a very bad loss, a trap game loss. It just seems to me like there are times where, and there was a point during Oklahoma City where he brought Mitchell out of the game early, fairly early, when it was clear that he was struggling, and kind of said, this is your team right now. Go show everybody what you can do.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. We've talked about it at length about empowering some of these other guys and giving them the ball in big moments. Darius had the big bucket at the end of the OKC game, had the big bucket at the end last night. I think it's twofold. I think it's also where I thought you were going with this was the Donovan component of he thought he was playing too many minutes last year. Mm-hmm. And I think the Cavs I think Kenny learned from Brooklyn the importance of that relationship with star players. We talked about that. That's what lost him the job in Brooklyn. It was a priority for him to establish a relationship with Donovan, and I don't know about this last night. I know his previous maintenance night was set like prior to the start of the season. Like,
oh, really?
This was also scheduled, Jason.
Okay, so there's two where they looked at the schedule at the start of the season and said, okay, you're going to sit here and you're going to sit here.
It makes sense that he sit in that game.
Yeah, and especially coming off the high intensity of the OKC game.
Right.
His previous maintenance day was prior to the Boston game to gear him up for Boston, which makes sense. And I'm sure there's probably more to come. But I think that he had the knee thing down the stretch last year. Yeah. And I think that they're trying to be smart and proactive about this and working with him on this to get his minutes and his time where he went. Because last year became a thing where it just became a thing.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to avoid that. And I think they've done a great job of that.
I look at it like this. I think we got to start giving credit to the guys on an individual basis. I think you got to start looking at Darius Garland, and we got to say, instead of thinking that Donovan Mitchell has played a role in his rehabilitation or Kenny Atkinson has unlocked him, let's give credit to Darius Garland. Darius Garland, he probably feels, I've been nice. I made an all-star team before they got here. Like, I had a bad year last year, and I like what he said the other day when he said, I'm tired of being nice. Like, you asking me, am I all-star? Hell yeah, I'm an all-star.
I like that too.
Hell yeah, I'm an all-star. And when you can see that way he's playing in confidence, look at him. He dancing on this dude at the top of the key, step back game. Like, he hit the Kyrie jumper yesterday. Like, I love the fact that when you was watching Darius Garland, he was playing at a pace where it was like, oh, y'all know y'all gonna lose, right? Like, I'm not even, y'all was winning by 5-6. The Raptors did a good job of being up the whole entire game, but Darius Garland never had that panic on his face. He played in control. He got to the basket when he wanted to. And I think right now we got to start having to give these guys credit for having basketball situational intelligence, right? He understood what the process was, and he understood what the climate was. He knew last game, Donovan is out. Now I'm going to step up. I'm that guy. So I've done this before. Look how he walking back to the bench. Like I knew that was going in. Look at that. Look, this is why. This is why when you say why are you so high on the Cavs, it's because they're not only playing with confidence, they're playing with awareness and knowing what they need to do at a specific time to win a game. That game was a game where, hey, we ain't got Donovan. Hey, maybe some of these shots ain't falling from the outside. So let me go ahead and get in my bag and get to it. Mobley and Allen are going to do what they're going to do. Darius realized that he needed to turn it on, and he made shots down the stretch. So this is why they are so hard to beat, because they're showing you now, oh, don't get it twisted. We got Donovan that can give us 40. We're going to show you Darius can get you 40, and we can show that our bigs can close you out and dominate inside too. So that's why this team is so impressive to me.
Speaking of the bigs, the last 2 nights, Mobley and Allen combined, 32 of 44 from the field. That's 73%.
We're hearing a lot of Robinson Duncan comparisons
Yeah,
too.
that's
all of a
right.
sudden.
I want to go back to what you're saying about Darius, though. He's in his 6th year. He's 25 years old. He's not a kid anymore. And I think Darius has grown up more from the end of last season to this season, maybe than he did in his first 5 years in the league.
Is there anything you contribute that to?
I think probably how bad last year was.
Struggles.
Yeah, I think the struggles. And like the one thing, and we touched on this toward the end of last season, but the one thing that like I kept hearing was everything's a joke, doesn't take anything serious. Like Donovan is the most ultimate professional. Donovan is old for his age, and Darius was a little young for his age. And I mean, he didn't win at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was terrible when he was there. And like he didn't win his first couple of years in the league. They weren't very good. So he just had to sort of figure it out. And I think he's done that. I just think he strikes me as much more mature this year than I think he's been in the past.
I agree with you. I would attribute that to his struggles too. But if we're going to split the pie, what percentage of it would you say is the rub-off effect from Donovan Mitchell? Because I think that has a lot to do with it. I think Donovan leading the way, showing him how to be a pro, kind of like a big brother. At first, I wasn't sure that relationship was going, that they were going to mesh.
Yeah.
And there were times last year where I thought there was evidence that it wasn't going to mesh. Well, but now I look at it now. Was anybody happier for Darius Garland last night than Donovan Mitchell?
No. I think Donovan truly loves seeing how he's grown and how he's developed and how he's flourishing. And to your point, their first year together, they were fine. There were no questions about, like, there were not all these questions about, oh, can these guys play together? That all popped up last year because Darius had a terrible year. And we've talked at length about some of the reasons why that may be. But their games do fit. Mike and I think both agreed, like, if you got to break up the front court or the back court, I don't think we ever thought you got to break up the back court. It was always, for me, it was if you have to break one of them, it's probably going to have to be the front court. Darius and Donovan are 2 talented players. They're going to figure this out. So it's good to see, obviously, that they've come together on this. And Donovan, I think, is thrilled for Darius's growth and thrilled that he's sort of growing into this player that, I mean, listen, it's time. Darius has got the richest, at the time he signed, it was the richest contract in franchise history. You got 1 All-Star appearance.
And it didn't look like it was aging well.
You got 1 All-Star appearance in 5 years.
Right.
And like, you know, you could, there was a lot of point guards coming into this year that you could name that you would probably take over Darius Garland. So it was time for him to hit the button and go, and he's done that.
He's done it.
I think a week ago, Mike, we were worried that he wasn't going to be an All-Star. Now I think he's almost a slam dunk.
No, I've completely flipped. He's cemented. I will go to war with anyone online who wants
I think
to say
they're getting
he's not
4.
an All-Star.
I think they're getting 4.
Well,
And can I give one last thing on Darius that should not only
I
cement
think
his
you're right,
All-Star
Jay.
status, but I think this kind of shows maturity on the court. There's not a tangible one stat that says you're more mature, but how you perform in the clutch is a big indicator of
close and late.
Ready for some Darius numbers in the clutch after last night? He has a plus 56 plus minus in the clutch. That's the best in basketball.
Give the definition of the clutch, Mike.
Clutch is the final 5 minutes of a game when the game is within 5 points. So if there's 4 minutes left and you score to go up 6, that next possession is not considered clutch.
What was his number in that situation last year? Because I
I'll
thought
look
he
that
was
up.
terrible
I
in
have
that
this year
situation
pulled up,
last
but
year.
let me just go with these numbers.
Okay.
He's plus 56 in the clutch. That is best in the NBA.
Wow.
He has a league best 75% field goal percentage in the clutch. That is 20 points higher than any player with 20 or more field goal attempts.
Wow.
Significantly better. He's 13 of 17 in clutch situations. He's 3 of 7 from deep. He's 10 of 10 from the line. You ready for this? He has a 9-to-1 assist to turnover ratio in the clutch. And then here's maybe the best one.
This is incredible.
He's averaging 1.57 points per possession in pick and roll situations in the clutch. That's best in basketball. So he's great in pick and roll. He's also averaging 1.56 points per possession in isolation situations in the clutch. That's also best in basketball. If the season ended today, Darius Garland would be a sure-in, no doubts, no questions asked, whatever they call the stupid Clutch Player of the Year award. It has some sponsor. I don't know if it's Kia or whatever. He'd be the Clutch Player of the Year in the NBA right now.
I don't know how you'd argue with those numbers. He's first in almost all of them.
And I'll look up last year's numbers.
Yeah, last year I felt like I didn't trust him close in late last year. I thought he penetrated a lot and got
I
shots
didn't
blocked
trust him,
or just
period, last
missed
year.
shot. Yeah, no, he was. It's astonishing
amazing.
how he's flipped the switch, and I think he's having his best season. I think he's playing better than he has at any point in his career, and that's saying something because when he first came in, he had some nice years that led to that richest contract in franchise history.
You know how we a few weeks.
Darius Garland. Sorry to cut you off, Bull.
Yeah.
So he is, this season, in 43 clutch minutes, he has a plus 56. Last season, in 104 minutes, his plus-minus, 0. Which, it goes negative, so it's not bad.
Yeah,
right. He was
But
a wash.
He's a wash. And his field goal percentage in the clutch last year, 29%. He's up to 75% this
That's
year.
astonishing.
It's crazy.
Not only that.
And real quick, last one. He's a 9-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio this year. He had 15 assists, 10 turnovers last year. So
It's stunning.
Not
every
only
stat
should
you
be an
look at,
all-star,
skyrocket.
he should, unlike your boy Jerry Jeudy for All-Pro, he should be in the conversation for MVP.
Not go down that rabbit hole.
Well,
I know
that's
it's not going to happen.
No.
He should be in the conversation.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
he
that-
is
that
more
probably
of
is.
he's more of an MVP than Jerry Jeudy is an All-Pro.
Wow.
That's not saying much.
So we're all in agreement before we move on to the next topic. Darius Garland, send him to Golden State, no questions asked.
I
correct?
think yes, and I think he will go.
And by the way, throw on top of this, he's also been improved on the defensive end of the floor. When he gets switched off and when they try to put him in the pick and roll or post him, he is a smaller dude, but he has shown some feistiness, some determination, and some effort on the defensive end of the court as well.
Mike, kudos on those numbers. Maybe I missed them during the broadcast against OKC Wednesday night, but those are numbers that typically ESPN's broadcast crew would throw out there. I didn't hear Doris. I didn't hear Jefferson. I didn't hear anybody mention those numbers, and that is a storyline that I think is largely untold. I'm surprised by those
This
numbers,
is
and I watch them every
McNuggets. He's
night.
been doing this for a year. Where you at? This is McNuggets. So
I know.
He's been
Mike,
doing this.
kudos to you. Those are great numbers.
We're going to do
that
a
paint
whole
picture.
Darius clutch breakdown. I want to do some
I like the
some
40
videos on
burger
stuff.
on the bottom there.
It's a 40 burger. That's
Yeah,
what he did.
that is
Put it on
nice.
Toronto's head. Speaking of